Welcome to today's Explainer. So, the date is June 17, 2026, and honestly, the entire global system feels like it's shifting all at once right now. Today, we're going to connect the dots between massive international peace deals, a totally unprecedented AI blackout, and some truly historic cultural moments. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's just jump right in and see exactly how all these moving parts fit together.
Here is our agenda for today. First, we'll look at global geopolitics, then dive into the Anthropic AI blackout, examine surveillance and security gaps, and finally wrap up with culture, sports, and climate.
Starting off with Section 1, Global Geopolitics, where we're seeing massive international shifts in the Middle East and Europe.
Okay, look at this timeline because it brilliantly illustrates the absolute geopolitical roller coaster we're currently riding. We're transitioning from a massive 15-week naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz straight into a highly compressed 60-day diplomatic sprint. Right now, commercial vessels are actively staging, just waiting for the official U.S.-Iran peace framework to be signed this Friday. But keep your eyes glued to that last point. That 60-day window is the extremely tight time frame allocated for critical negotiations regarding Tehran's nuclear capabilities. Now, for 15 weeks, that blockade triggered severe energy cost spikes. And you probably felt that inflation hit your wallet directly. But now, with the Strait expected to reopen Friday, there's a huge collective sigh of relief. Traders and everyday folks like us can expect some sustained economic relief as commodity markets are finally holding steady.
And while the markets take a breather across the Atlantic at the 52nd G7 summit in France, President Trump and allied leaders have just finalized their unified stances on these massive, interconnected global priorities. The agenda was incredibly heavy. They tackled international trade, global AI governance, and the war in Ukraine, which, wow, is now 4.5 years in, with Kyiv actually preparing to receive the first installment of a €90 billion support loan.
But, there's definitely some underlying diplomatic friction here. EU leader Ursula von der Leyen is making it crystal clear that just because the US and Iran are finalizing a peace framework, it absolutely doesn't mean automatic, unconditional relief from European sanctions. They are demanding credible and verifiable changes in the nation's behavior first. No free passes here.
Adding yet another layer of complexity to the region, Defense Minister Israel Katz confirmed that Israel will not withdraw from occupied security buffer zones in Lebanon, Syria, or Gaza. They're maintaining a firm, independent defense posture and their right to act against Iranian targets. And honestly, this creates undeniable friction right alongside that broader US-Iran peace framework.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, the Anthropic AI blackout, a real-time global tech standoff.
7 days. That's exactly how long Anthropic's highly advanced Fable 5 and Mythos 5 AI models have been completely blacked out globally. And guys, this isn't some minor technical glitch. This is a massive federal export dispute playing out in real time, forcing a total global shutdown. Now, what's really fascinating is the stark contrast between the two competing narratives on this. On one side, the government claims these models pose severe jailbreak risks, meaning the AI's safety guardrails can supposedly be bypassed, and they're worried the tech could be diverted to foreign military intelligence. They even allege CEO Dario Amodei refused to voluntarily pull the models. On the flip side, Anthropic is strongly refuting all of this. They argue the models had prior deployment approval, the vulnerabilities are just industry standard, and these unilateral restrictions are crippling the domestic AI sector. This incredibly high-stakes standoff literally has Anthropic executives in meetings with the CIA and the White House science advisor as we speak.
And the financial fallout? It's huge. Analysts are issuing stark warnings right now. This ongoing export control dispute, combined with Anthropic's prior placement on a Pentagon national security blacklist, means they have to make major material risk disclosures. Ultimately, this threatens to completely tank the valuation of Anthropic's highly anticipated confidential initial public offering.
So, it begs the question, was the AI shutdown purely about national security? This question is actively swirling everywhere in the tech and business worlds. Why? Well, it was just revealed that Amazon CEO Andy Jassy held a private back-channel phone call with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent mere hours before the Commerce Department issued that global export control directive. That timeline is definitely raising eyebrows and fueling intense scrutiny about potential political motivations behind the whole blackout.
Let's pivot to Section 3. Surveillance and security gaps, focusing on some major intelligence blind spots. 60%. Think about that for a second.
That represents the portion of the president's daily briefing previously fueled by the now-lapsed FISA Section 702. For those who don't know, that's a key authority used to intercept foreign communications. Congress hasn't voted on a renewal package yet, which means a massive chunk of U.S. intelligence gathering is literally sitting in the dark right now.
And cyber leaders are sounding the alarm because of this. The U.S. is entering that tense 60-day Iran nuclear negotiation window we talked about earlier, but with a severe intelligence blind spot. Our tracking capabilities are hampered at the exact moment we need them the most. It's incredibly risky timing.
Proliferation experts are warning that this compressed 60-day window offers almost zero margin for error. Remember, the initial peace framework to end that 15-week naval conflict secured absolutely no structural concessions on Tehran's weapons capabilities. So, experts are stressing that entering this upcoming sprint with such a huge intelligence gap makes this a very dangerous balancing act.
Finally, let's step away from geopolitics for Section 4, Culture, Sports, and Climate, to look at our domestic realities.
In a monumental cultural moment. 53 years. That's how long New York fans have agonizingly waited for a Knicks NBA championship. I mean, a drought so long, entire generations of fans practically thought winning was a myth.
That historic victory brought massive parade crowds flooding into the streets of Manhattan, and it was sealed by guard Jalen Brunson's absolute masterclass, an incredible 45-point performance against the San Antonio Spurs in Game 5 last Saturday. The TV viewership was off the charts, and it finally gave the city a huge reason to celebrate.
On the broader entertainment front, water cooler chatter is completely dominated by Sunday's historic UFC Freedom 250 broadcast. It was staged directly from the White House South Lawn to celebrate President Trump's 80th birthday and Flag Day, and as you can imagine, it drew a massive audience. Plus, the expansive 48-team FIFA World Cup group stages are seriously heating up across the US, Canada, and Mexico right now.
But guys, while millions are celebrating these massive sports victories, the National Weather Service is issuing some very severe warnings. A relentless high-pressure ridge has trapped a super hazardous heat dome across the south and southwest. Active heat advisories are persisting through the midweek, forcing residents all across the region to hunker down inside, and it's putting a massive strain on local power grids as everyone battles the heat.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. I want to leave you with this thought. As our climate continues to heat up and our most advanced AI capabilities are suddenly blacked out, are we entering a new era where our global systems are changing way faster than our human diplomacy can actually manage? Let us know what you think.